during a pandemic. So we went to a fake set at the synagogue that I built myself with cheap wood paneling from Home Depot, and made it look like we were in my basement. And we were actually like 30 feet apart from each other, looking at each other across a room, trying to do this service, which was very... And we wanted, our goal was to bring a little bit of Shabbat into people's homes during a very dark time during the pandemic, to give a feeling. The reason we started in my basement, we wanted to give the feeling that we were not in shul, but that we were actually in a house, and that we were getting ready for Shabbat, just like all of you, and the people that are still joining us online after so many months. And we wanted you to feel at home. So we do have a group of people here tonight, and it has always been our hope and our dream to sing again as a community. We started this service with the words Azamra Lelohai Be'odi, which is what we named the service, Azamra, I will sing. We wanted to empower you and give you the opportunity to sing. So whether you're at home or whether you're here with us, we want to hear your voices. And tonight we're celebrating Shabbat and celebrating the conclusion of Cantor Reisner's time with us. And I know that she would love to hear your voices. And let's all hear each other's voices. So let's start our service in the packets here that those of you here have. And we're going to start with Psalm 150 for those of you at home.
We're not going to start with Psalm 150. We're going to start with Ozi.
Oh, right.
And one of the special things about Shabbat Chol HaMoed, which is tonight, is that there's actually no traditional Kabbalat Shabbat. And so what I decided to do was to pick, before we get into Mari, which we'll do together, is to pick a bunch of psalms and songs all about music and about singing, because we have the freedom to do so. So I hope it's blatantly obvious that I am asking you to sing. Although we're up here and there are cameras, it is not a concert whatsoever, and I hope that you'll be inspired.
I don't know, I didn't really hear a lot of singing yet. They're just warming up. We're all warming up our voices. Song which is Psalm 150. תזייתרוה כל הנשמה תהלליה כל הנשמה Hallelujah. That hallelujah is a relatively new melody for me anyway. And the next melody we're going to do on page a new song. Why a new song? Because our songs, our words, we put the words of our liturgy to song. We breathe new life into them each time we sing them. New in our mouths each time we sing different melodies. One of the things that Cantor has brought to us throughout the year, she's been here, are melodies that I hadn't heard, that many of us at home had not heard, and you've brought into old words that we've been a lot about these prayers, and Laurie Akers is one of your favorites.
Yeah.
You are not only a cantor who loves to perform music, you are really a student of contemporary Jewish liturgical music. So tell us about this.
So Laurie Akers is a cantor in the Chicago area who is a phenomenal songwriter, and she writes a lot of, I would say, pop style music, and the Shir Ladonai that I think we sing almost every week is one of hers, and I'll also sing another one of hers later on. And what I like about it is that, like you said, putting a new sound into old words, and it is very new sound. We often talk about Debbie Friedman, whose music is already kind of dated, and so, which the Holiday was Debbie Friedman, so I love her. I can even learn coming out right now. We're calling it the new era of Jewish music. And so her music and many others of her contemporaries are writing such beautiful music. So I hope you'll stick with it and always find new music to learn. So Shir Ladonai, here we go. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol haaretz,
Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato. Sapru v'goyim kevodo, v'chol ha'amim niflotav, ki gadol Adonai u'molad me'od, norah ha'kol Elohim.
Sing with me.
Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato.
Ki kol Elohei ha'alim elilim, Adonai shamayim asa, u've'ador lefanav, oz ve'tiferet b'mi'ikdasho.
Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato. Lai lai la lai, la la lai, la lai lai la lai, la la lai, la lai lai la lai, la la lai, la lai lai la lai, la la lai.
Okay, but I really want to hear you do it. Ya lai
Lai la lai, la la lai.
Good.
La lai lai la lai, la la lai.
Even more. One more
La
time.
lai lai la lai, la la lai.
Good. Shiru
שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסו מיום ליום ישועתו.
One of the things that I am hoping is that we will build back a practice of singing, of music. Something that I've noticed and I've talked a lot about is that because we've been on Zoom for so long, we have this almost culture of mute. We have an ability to press a button and we spent a year and a half on mute, and I have noticed it, and I do it too, but I think that's such a shame, and we have to relearn how to sing together. So I think both Rabbi Grunwald and I hope and expect that you will sing along, not just because we want to hear it and we enjoy it, but partly because we want to hope that we'll create this community of song again. We'll build back together. Yes.
But you know, one of the advantages of singing on mute, it's what we encouraged people to do all this last year and a half. When you know, sing as though you're on mute, and sing. That's what we wanted, people to come back to community. Hopefully, singing like you're on mute and dancing like no one's watching, right? And so we're going to continue on with Psalm 98, which is on page 17 in the Siddur and on the front of our packets.
מזמור שירו לאדוני שיר חדש כי נפלאות עשה הושיע לו ימינו וזרועתו הודיעו אדוני ישועתו לעיני הגויים.
And we'll continue with the words at the bottom of our page, Psalm 59.
Which is Vani Ashiru Zecha, and it's not traditionally found in our liturgy, which is Moai. You probably don't recognize it. Rabbi Grunwald didn't recognize it.
No, I was actually looking for it in the Siddur, and I looked in the index, and it's not in the Siddur.
No, it's written by Joshua. Like all of the music on this page, on the front page of your packets, is about music being our strength. And what I like about it is the first line says, Ani ashir uzecha, and I will sing your strength to God. But at the last line it says, Uzi elecha azamera, my strength I will sing to you. And it's this journey that we go on from praising God's strength to revealing our own in song. And I love that. So we're going to do this a bunch of times because I do want you to sing along and learn it. It is not so hard. I really think that we can do it. So we'll start with the last line, Uzi elecha azamera, and it goes like this.
I'm still learning too, so sing along with me. We'll do
So
it.
sing. Ready? Alright, so we'll go to the verse now and we'll come back to that part. And the verse goes like this. ואני אשיר עוזך וארנן לבוקר חסדך כי היית נשגב לי ומנוס ביום צרי ואני אשיר עוזך וארנן לבוקר חסדך כי היית נשגב לי ומנוס ביום צרי עוזי עוזי אליך אזמרה אזמרה עוזי אליך אזמרה אזמרה. Now I want to hear you sing that with me.
עוזי אליך אזמרה
Good.
אזמרה עוזי אליך אזמרה אזמרה
עוזי אליך אזמרה אזמרה עוזי אליך אזמרה אזמרה. We're getting it. We're going to come back to that at the end, so don't forget it.
All right, so now back to something familiar, which is this melody from this. I believe this is Deborah Sachs-Mintz, right? Who wrote this Ramzor melody, which actually Ramzor means traffic light in Hebrew. I don't know why this melody is called a traffic light melody. Maybe she wrote it while she was sitting at a long red light and came up with this melody, which has been really beautiful for Lecha Dodi, which is found on page 23 and 25 in the Siddur, and as well as in our packets here.
מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף
Please rise. גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני הסגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, הירידה גאוויה, בוא בני שבת נקבלה, הירידה גאוויה, דודי לקראת קלה, הירידה גאוויה, בני שבת נקבלה, הירידה גאוויה. We're gonna keep going. Ay-ay-yo, ay-ay-yo, ay-ay-di-da-di-do, ay-ay-yo, 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 ay-ay-di-da-di-do, ay-ay-yo, 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 ay-ay-di-da-di-do, ay-ay-yo, 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 ay-ay-di-da-di-do, ay-ay-yo. Tov lehodot ladonai. You can have a seat. You know, I'm not used to actually having folks in front of us, and I forgot to tell you to write shalom. But tov lehodot ladonai, it reminds us it's good to give thanks to God. It's good for us to be together as community. It's not natural for us to be apart. It's good to share our voices with one another. Where else in our society are we invited to share our voices with other people in unison? Singing is a spiritual practice. Singing together in community in itself, even if it's a nigun, is a spiritual practice, even if it has no words. Mariv service, we sing the words on page 27, Tov lehodot ladonai, it is good. לזמר לשמך עליון, טוב להודות לאדוני. לזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות. טוב להודות. באמונתך בלילות, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך. They're warming up. They've warmed up. You know, tonight, the folks that we invited to be here tonight, we made an effort to invite new members. And I can only imagine what it's like to join a synagogue community or to move to a new city in the midst of a pandemic I think Cantor Reisner knows what that's like. She did it a year and a half ago. And tonight, most of us here are new members. We start our Ma'ariv service formally with Baruch, which is a call and response. It's an invitation. It's a call to community. This is the moment that we become a minyan. So before we call out to one another in the words of Baruch, I want to invite you to take a moment, those of you that are here with us, to look around, to say hello to the people next to you, to introduce yourself to someone tonight, and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, it occurred to me you're one of those people. Go ahead and start. Please rise. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. You can have a seat. We're going to continue now on page 40 in the packets and in the Siddur. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol nafshecha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anu lecha
ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Page 44.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא נורא תהילות עושה פלא עושה פלא מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא נורא תהילות עושה פלא עושה פלא מלכותך ראו בניך הים לפני משה זה לי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד לעולם ועד מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא נורא תהילות עושה פלא עושה פלא. Nice, that's also a very new one.
Yeah. We're continuing now on page 45.
So this one is one I've done, I think once or twice before. It's written as a duet.
She's had to listen to me all year. We've had our own duet this
We
year.
have had our own duet. I'm looking for other partners, and I'm hoping that we can duet here. Haha. So I'm going to teach you the one easy part, which has the words Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom, and then I'll do the harder part so that you don't have to learn it. I'm really helping you out here. So it goes like this. I have to figure out what key I want you to sing it in. Okay, we're gonna do it without the guitar. Give me a second. This is your part. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Hashkivenu L'Shalom. That's the whole thing. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Hashkivenu L'Shalom. I don't see a lot of mouths moving. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Hashkivenu L'Shalom. Try by yourselves.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu
Louder.
Hashkivenu L'Shalom.
One more time.
Hashkivenu Hashkivenu leshalom.
Keep it going.
Hashkivenu.
Love and understanding among us. You got it. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. You got it. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu.
Hashkivenu leshalom.
Again.
Hashkivenu
And understanding among us.
Hashkivenu
Friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Louder.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu leshalom.
Last time.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu
Friendship be our shelter.
leshalom. How did we
How's-
sound?
Great. How's it feel to actually hear each other? Pretty good, right?
It's hard to listen and sing at the same time. I think that's a spiritual practice too. Let's continue with page 46.
This is my other Laurie Akers song. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת
לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. שימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. שימים עשה אדוני
את השמיים ואת הארץ.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We now arrive at the Amidah. If you're davening at home or here, we invite you to take a few minutes of personal prayer. The Amidah begins on page 47. And I want to invite you to really embrace a few moments of personal prayer, to pray the words that are in the Siddur, or to pray the words that are in your heart. And we'll invite you to rise, and we'll start on page 47 with our individual recitation. We add Yale Ve'yavo for this Echad.
ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. לכל השלום כי אתה הוא מלך אדום. לכל השלום שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
I just want to add one thing. Kol Nidre, whether you were at Shir or traditional, actually there was only one service, so forget that comment. But the moment that I sang Shalom Rav after the Amidah during Kol Nidre was the first time that I heard voices sing together, and it was the most spiritual moment I've had in a year and a half. So this Shalom Rav has a place in my heart with all of you, and I'm really, really grateful to be able to do this with you.
Thank you. Community has the power to heal. And whenever we are together as a community, we have an opportunity to pray for healing. So we'll join together as we call to mind those that we know and those in our world in need of healing.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
And at this time, we invite those who are mourning and those for whom it is your custom to remain standing, as we invite those watching at home and here to recite Mourner's Kaddish on page 58. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam U'Me'el Maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei D'Kudsha Brichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
המקום ינחם, ינחם אתכם. May the Holy One comfort you. המקום ינחם, ינחם אתכם. May our love embrace you. V'Yerushalayim, may their memory bring you peace, bring you strength and be a blessing. Makom yenachem, yenachem etchem. May the Holy One comfort you.
Houses of Shiva and anywhere that people need comfort. I just want to add that you've also brought comfort to our community. In a time of great darkness and isolation, I think your voice on the internet has been a lifeline to people's Yiddishkeit and Jewish community. And it's an appropriate place for us to close for now. Hamakom Yenachem. I wrote a bunch of stuff, but I probably won't read this because so I'm going to dedicate this Dvar Torah. Don't step away. Come close. To offer some words of gratitude for Cantor Reisner and our partnership for the last year and a half. And among those many things that we partnered on was this service, Azamra. And like I said, I hope it's been a lifeline for you all during this really difficult year. I think it's really appropriate that we're finishing this Azamra service and your time with our congregation as we approach Simchat Torah, because it's the time when we, Simchat Torah will be the last thing you do actually with us. And it's the time when we finish reading the Torah, but then we start right back up again. Because every ending is also a new beginning. And every new beginning is foreclosing what was. It's a transition. And in Judaism, we don't stop telling that story. We never stop. We never actually get to the promised land. We're always on the journey. As soon as we get to the precipice of Eretz Yisrael, we roll back to the beginning and we read Breshit again. And you're in a time of transition, and we as a synagogue are in time of transition. And this is also the week that we read V'zot HaBracha, and I'll say something about that, but I'm going to jump around a little bit. You might remember that, so you arrived during a really difficult time. You interviewed about 2 weeks. It was the early March. The week we went into lockdown, basically. And we weren't even shaking hands. We weren't getting close to each other. We were already having some precautions. You came nonetheless, and you had your interview weekend. And then things got much, much worse. And by the time you actually started the job in July, you graduated and got ordained on the internet, and you moved out here in the middle of a pandemic and into an apartment alone and started leading services in your apartment and sometimes at shul, but doing this job remotely, a job that really is about bringing people together to sing together, to be community together. And everything about that was not what you expected. And yet you were resilient and creative, adapted. And I don't know if you remember, we continued to progress in that way, and then we started to come out of lockdown. And in March, Adine got placed in New York, and we knew that that this would mean the end of your time with us, and you've graciously stayed on, even as Adine has moved to New York and started his residency. And you might remember that I gave you a note, and I quoted. It was around the time of Purim, and I quoted the book of Esther. It's when Mordechai comes to Esther and says, you're the hope of our people, and you are in this position where you might make a difference. And he says, Umi yodea im le'et kazot higat lemalchut. And I it you as, who knows if perhaps you attained your position for a moment such as this.
It's still on my desk.
You, I believe in my heart, and even knowing now that your time here would be short, I know that you were the right choice, that you were the person that we needed, the cantor that we needed right now for this really difficult year of transition. Knowing everything I know now, and knowing that you would leave like a year, a little like 14, 15 months later, I would do it all over again. And I think you were made for this moment, because you've been courageous and resilient, and it's been hard. And I hope you all understand how hard it's been, and that it's been lonely for a cantor not to have community and have voices singing together is heartbreaking. And you've put on your big smile, and you lead and you sing into a camera, hoping, praying that someone actually is singing with you, because that's what makes you come, other than me. That's what I've seen come alive in you. And very few people have gotten to see the Ariel that I know, and that my family has gotten to know over many Shabbatot together. So the bit of Devar Torah. In this week's parsha, we're reading Vezot HaBracha. I also think it's fitting. This is the blessing. This is when Moses is giving his final blessing to the people of Israel. And when I was reading it, I got to Yehuda. And Yehuda, of course, the symbol of Yehuda is a lion. This is Yehuda's blessing. So Moshe says to Yehuda, Zot le Yehuda, Vayomer Shma Hashem Kol Yehuda. Hear, O Lord, the voice of Judah, of Ariel. Strive for her. Be a help to her in the face of adversity. You have this incredible voice. It says, hear, O Lord, the voice of Ariel, of Yehuda. It is fierce like a lion's roar, and it calls people to sing. And when I've seen you on the opportunities we've had, like tonight, to sing with other people, I see a fire that really ignites in you. And then that's contagious, and it has influenced our community and kept us warm over these many cold months. So I want to bless you to continue cultivating that voice, because it's not just a singing voice that you have. You also are, you have the voice of leadership. And a lot of what these folks don't know is what you've done when you're not on camera, and the dedication that you've had to your craft, the way that you treat what you do as a craft with pride and with joy and with diligence and hard work. You work all the time to improve yourself, to be better. You have this eye for excellence, and you expect nothing less from yourself. I bless you to have that, always that striving. As the blessing says, through her hands, strive for her, right? That your work in this profession, this sacred profession that we share, is to be God's hands and to be God's voice in the world. And I bless you to continue to cultivate that singing voice and that voice of leadership. And I bless you that wherever you land, and you will land somewhere amazing. Someday I'm going to be sitting at a conference talking with my buddies in the rabbinate, and I'm going to brag about how I worked with Cantor Ariel Reisner in her first year in the pulpit. When you're a big famous cantor, I will brag. And my blessing to you is that wherever you land, that you find a community that wants to know you, not just Cantor Reisner, but Ariel, and that you can come to know intimately and personally, because a community deserves to know you. And it has been my pleasure, because we've gotten the opportunity to co-create, and it's been a lot of fun, and I hope that you've had a lot of fun too. So I want to invite all of you here to rise with me, because I want to offer Ariel a blessing, a formal blessing that we offer that comes from our Torah. Is it okay if I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
Is that okay? No. I'll put my hands here.
Yeah, good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
good. Yeah.
I'm going to try, because this is your melody that you taught me, but
Everyone probably knows it.
maybe they can sing along, and we can all wish Ariel shalom. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom, shalom, v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom, v'yasem lecha shalom, 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 v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom, v'yasem lecha shalom.
With that, we're going to keep singing.
We're going to sing a little bit more. We're going to close our service with a reprise of what we sang earlier, right?
Yeah, we can sit down.
You guys can sit.
Okay.
Ooh.
gali umanos beyom tzarli. Your turn.
Uzi elecha azamera, azamera. Uzi elecha azamera, azamera. Uzi elecha azamera, azamera. Uzi elecha azamera, azamera.
Last time.
Uzi elecha azamera, azamera. Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat
everyone.
shalom. It's almost like you knew that what was standing between you and dinner was singing that song.
That's right. So hopefully we're offline by now, and